Okay, welcome back everyone. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the functions and we have discussed about the so different types of functions there. Today, we'll talk about date functions. Now, as we know that number function work on numbers, character function work on characters. Same way, the date function works on the date data type. So before going to the date function, first understand the mathematics of date type and number type. See, usually what happens that we can perform the action between character and character, number and number, but date allow you to perform the action along with the numbers as well. So first we'll understand that, and once we understand that, then we'll talk about the functions. Okay, so pay attention here. Okay, so we are at the place where we already do the arc sequence syntaxes. So first thing, we have a date as a one value, and let's say we are adding number as a second value. So now date is a different data type, number is a different data type. So what will be the result? Number or date? So answer is date. And these numbers are considered as number of days. That many number of days will be added to the date and you will get a advanced date. Okay, let's understand with an example here. If I say select this date from, and if I'm executing this, so what are we getting it here? Let's take a little long time. Anyway, we'll get the result. Just 1 second. Okay, wait. Okay. So what does a sysdate returns? System date. System date, in other words, we can say it's a current date. Right, so it is going to return the today's date, that is a 3rd of August 2021. I don't know why it's taking a long time today. Just hold a second. Okay. So we get the result as 3rd of August 2021. It's in the format of MMDDYYYY. So first we are getting is a month, date, and year. Now let's say we add plus 10. Now this 10 will be the number of days added to the date. So we'll get a advanced date after adding these many days. 13/8/2021. Clear? Now what if I add, let's say 29. So once we add the 29, it will automatically jump to the next month because it is adding exactly the number of days. So if I execute it here, it has gone to the 9th month, 1/9/2021. So I hope this concept is clear. The date plus number always return the date. Then we have a date minus number. What will be the output? Again the same, date. Now this number is again considered as number of days. Simply, if I say here minus, Guess what will be the result? So the result will be 29 days back date. From 8, it will go to the 7th, 5th July 2021. Is it clear? Next. Next is date minus 8. Now what will be the result? We had date plus number as a date, date minus number as a date, date minus date. What will be the result? So here the result will be number. And again, this number is nothing but number of days between these two dates. Simple. I'll repeat once again. Wherever you can see the number, that number is considered as days. That is a number of days. Very simple here. Now let's see it here. If I say sys date minus, but minus is already written, so I'll say 07 05 2021. So I'm subtracting this date from this date, but I'll get an error because whatever we provide in the codes is always considered as a text, not a date. Simple, we're getting the error as a invalid numbers. So first, this has to be transposed into the date. So we'll say to date. Date is also a function that we'll discuss. And here we have to give a format in which we have provided the date. So we have provided the date as a dd yy. So now what will happen? First, this function will convert this value into the date in this format. So now it will become a date value. So now what will be the result? So the result is 29.86. Again, you can see it's nothing but a 29. So 29 days, 86 is a 30th day as a 86%. Very simple here. Simple. Now, the last one. Date plus date. What should be the result? Answer is invalid. You are not allowed to use date plus date. So only three things are allowed: date plus number, date minus number, date minus date. Date plus date is invalid, not allowed. So here, let's say instead of plus or minus, I'll use a plus. And if I execute, we got a result: date plus date not allowed. I hope this concept is clear, because for going further, the functions, you should be clear about this concept. Very simple here. So now once this concept is clear, let's move to the functions. Now you can see on the screen that we have 5 functions available in date functions. Now, first function is add months. Now, what the add months is? Add a month is nothing but it is just adding the number of months into the date instead of adding the number of days. Very simple. Add months. Add months require the two expression. First expression will be the date. Second expression will be the number. That number will be considered as a month. That number will be considered as a month. Simple. So let's take an example here. We simply say that we'll go here. And now let's use the function and check it out. So here, that is the first one. We have talked about the date plus date. Now, instead of that, we will use a function select add months. And in the add months, we will use first expression as a date, that is sysdate. Second expression has to be the number. And here we will say that from Jan. And now if I execute, these many months will be added to this date. So we have 310. It's a 38. 2 months has been added, so it becomes 310. I hope it is very clear. So it is same like date plus number, but instead of this number as a days, it will add the months. Second is a date minus number. So we don't have any function called as a subtract month. Same function is used for adding the month, and same function is used for subtracting the month. Very simple. If I provide this value in negative form, that much will be month will be subtracted. 8 minus 2, it is 6. So 6th of June is the result. Very simple here. Now, this is very simple. Now, go to the next function. Months between. Months between is same like a date minus date. When we use a date minus date, we get a number of days between the dates. But if we want number of months between the dates, we can take the help of months between function. Okay, so it returns the number of months between the two dates what you have been provided. Understand an example as well, so that will be the better option. So here we can use a function. I'll just use another one. Select months, and here let's provide the two expression, and both the expression has to be the date. Both the expression has to be the date. So first I am providing here sysdate. It's nothing but a today's date. And then I am providing here, let's say 06, 03, and 2021. Okay, here typecasting is not required because this function will automatically do the typecasting. So I'll close it and I say from. Now if I execute this here, we are getting the result 2. This 2 is nothing but number of months between the two dates what we have been provided. Clear? Very simple. Now you can notice one thing. Here I have given the date as a 3. So 3 to 3, it's a complete 2 months. But what if I provide here 0, 5? So 5 will complete the 2 month on 5th, but today is the 3rd. So the result will be in a decimal. So result will be here as 1.96 and so on. It's a float value. So that 96.96 is a nothing but percentage of second month. One complete month, second month as a 96%. Clear? It's not a 96 days. It's a 96%. Clear? So months between is clear, simple to understand. Now here, if this date is a lower and this date is a higher, in that case, the result will be negative. This is positive, result will be the negative. So if you want always positive, you can take a help of ABS. We already learned about the ABS, absolute. In that case, always we get a positive answer. Is it clear? Very simple it is. Yes. Move to the third one. Third is called as a round. We have learned the round for numbers. Same way, this function is used for rounding the dates. What do you mean by the rounding the dates and rounding the numbers? In the rounding the numbers, excess value get rounded and adjusted to the previous place, right? Same way here also, excess value get rounded and adjusted to the previous place. Only one thing to be understand, in numbers, it is a decimal value. But for a time or a date, it's not a decimal value. Because time is a, simply we can say it's a value which is having a lowest unit as a seconds. Or you can say the milliseconds as well. Second becomes the number, second becomes the minutes, minutes becomes the hours, hours becomes the day, day becomes the month, month becomes the year. Correct? Same way, in the numbers we can say that decimal becomes a unit, unit becomes a tens, tens becomes a hundred, hundred becomes a thousand, and so on. So here, you can round it a date nearest to what you want. So where you want to round, you have to provide that format of the date. You have to provide that format of the date. Let's understand here. Okay, let's come. Okay, I'm writing another query here. Select. I'm using a round. In the round, I provide a sys date. Now this date, I want to round it nearest to date. The date, correct? And I close and I say from. What is the today's date? According to me, it's the 3rd of August, correct? But 3rd of August has started at 12 o'clock midnight yesterday. and it will be over today midnight 12 o'clock. So can we say fourth after the third we have already passed more than half? So when you pass something more than half, according to the rounding rule, it will be added plus 1. So now the hours are going to be rounded. So we are going to get a result as 4th of August. Reason is excess hour has been rounded and adjusted to the next date. Very simple to understand here. If not, just pay attention. What is the today's date? 03. Okay, we'll talk in a different manner. Let's say, what is the minimum unit of a date? It starts with seconds, but we'll start with hours. HH. HH becomes the DD becomes the mm. Mm becomes the YY. Correct? Now, what is the current time? Let's say, according to me, it's a 9 p.m. Hour is 09. So it is a 09 or 12 plus 9. It's a 12 plus 9. So that's a 21 hours. Date is 03. Month is 08. Year is 2021. Correct? So now we ask them to round up till the DD. So can I say this is the DD? Yes. So now if it is a DD, can I say this is the excess value? So 21. In a day, how many hours are there? 24. Correct? And mid of that is 12. Mid of that is nothing but a 12. So 21 is more than 12 or less than 12? More than 12. So that will become the 24 hours. So once it becomes the 24 hours, it becomes a 1 day. And that 1 day will be added into the date. And this will become the 4. So we got the result as a 4. I hope it's clear. Same thing with mm. Now we are rounding up till the month. Now this day is a 03. 03 month has a how many days in the 1 month? Depends on that month. But for a broader way, we can say that it is a 30. 30. So 03 is a more than half of 30 or less than half? Obviously, it's a less than half. So it is going to become the 0. But 0 is invalid date. So it will become the 1. So the result will be here, 1st of August. Is it clear? Same thing you can go for the YY. Now year. Can I say we are talking about this? Yes. 2021. 8. In a year, how many months do we have? 12 months. And what is the midpoint of 12? 6. This 8 is a more than 6 or less than 6? More than 6. So this 8 will become a complete 1 year and will be added here. So this will become 1, 1 and 2022. So yeah. So that is called a rounding of a date. Very simple. How do we round the date? Let's move ahead. So let's go again here. So we have talk about add months. I'm sure it is clear to everyone. Months between is clear. Round is clear. Next is called a next day. What do you mean by the next day? Next day requires two expressions. One as a date, second as a weekday. So whatever the date you have provided, after that, when that weekday will come, that date. Very simple. Okay, understand with an example. So easy for you to understand. So let's come down. Here, I use a select function as a next day in the bracket. What two expressions are required? One as a date, second as a weekday. So date I'm providing here as a sys date. And let's say I'm providing here TUE. TUE is nothing but a Tuesday. Correct? I close this. I say from 12. So when the Tuesday will come after this? Today is the 3rd August and today is a Tuesday. So next Tuesday will be after 7 days. So the result will be the 10/8. Very simple here. After that date, whenever that day is coming first, that will be the date you're going to get. Simple here. No doubt. All the doubts are clear. Let's say I'm saying here WED means what? Wednesday. What date will come as a result? So today is a Tuesday, and after today, tomorrow will be the Wednesday. So we are going to get a date of tomorrow. 4th August. Clear? That is a part of the next. Very simple. After the next day, next is called as a last day. Last day requires one expression. Whatever the date you are providing of that date for that month, whatever the last date is, that will be returned. So today's date is the 3rd August. So what will be the last date of the August? 31st. So the result will be the 31st August 2021. 31st August 2021. Clear? It's very simple to understand here. That is nothing but returning the last date. So can I say all these functions are clear? Add months, months between, round, next day, last. Clear to everyone? So we talk about date functions. Now we'll talk about the conversion functions. What is a conversion function? It is used specially for the typecasting. Typecasting means changing from one form to another form. Now, before going to the conversion functions, let's talk about first. There are something called as an implicit conversion take place automatically. Now, understand the implicit conversion in a simple way that when you're providing a certain value, but you provide a value as a date, but actually that is a text. But if that value is compatible to the date, automatically that text will get converted into the date. If you provide a character, In the character, you provide certain numeric value, but you know that character can be the numeric value? No. Character value of a something is a different than a numeric value. But for that performance or performing the action, you need it there as a numbers. So if that character are compatible to the numbers, will automatically convert it to the numbers. Okay, understand with an example. Let's come here. Shall we remove all these things now? Now here, let's say I say select 1. Now you'll see that 1 is given in the quote. I say from 12. I get the result as a 1. That 1 is a character or a number. Obviously, it's a character. Hence, it is a character. It cannot perform the arithmetic operation with 5. This 5 is without quote. That means this is a character. This is the number. So we should get some error because this first value, what we have provided, is a character. In that case, I should get error, but I'm not getting an error. I'm getting the result as 6. Reason is here, this operation is required it as a number. It will check that this character can be converted into the number. If yes, 1 is got converted into the number. So now this 1 will have a number value and 5 is already number. So 1 plus 5, we got it as a 6. Even if I'm providing this 5 also as a character, you will see that it is 6. Now actually, this arithmetic cannot operate on the characters. It operates only on the numbers. But due to implicit conversion, this conversion has happened and you can see the result. Clear? This is an implicit conversion. But we are not interested in the implicit conversion, but you should be aware about this. That's why we have discussed this here. So now we'll talk about the functions. That functions are used for explicit data conversion. What is explicit data conversion? You want to convert something into something. Now let's say in one of the table that you are having only varchar 2 as a data type. Varchar 2 can accept anything, correct? In the same there, you are using the date, number, and a function. Now, number, date, and a character. But sometime you want to retrieve as a date, sometime you want to retrieve as a number, sometime you want to retrieve as a character. So for that purpose, we can take a help of conversion functions. Very simple here. Now let's understand it. Simply we can say that, okay, let me do one thing here. I'll say select, sorry, I'll create one table. Yes. Create table test 23. And here I'm using only one column, that is test data, and I'm using a varchar 2. Okay. Let's say I have created this table here. Simple. Now I'm inserting some values here. Let's say I say here insert into test 23. Test 23 values. I'm providing here 0308 2021. I'm just running here 03, 08, 20, 21. Okay. Can you see that we have provided a certain characters here? And I insert it. Table does not test. Okay, I'm sorry. It's my mistake. One row is inserted. Now if I see select start from test 23 and if I execute, can I say I'm getting this value here? But this value I want it as a date. So I'll say here 2, 8 and I'll use a column name as a test data and in which format I want it, that I have to be very sure about this. So I'll say here dd mm yy yy. So if I'm getting this data in a date format. Okay, this is not closed. And we'll give a column name as a simply can you say that we have stored as a numbers, but we can retrieve it as a date. Now if I can use this as a date and I can say minus date and I'm executing. Can I say I'm getting a result here? If I'm getting a result means what? This value has been acted as a date. This value has been acted as a date. Very simple. Let's say I want this as a number. So what will I do here? I'll say 2 number. And I'm using a table column name as a test data, comma, and I can provide a format here 0 0 0 0 0 0 decimal 0 0, and hence I want it as a money, so I use some separators. Okay, I can say here amount. Invalid number. Okay, why I'm getting invalid number here? Okay, give me a second. Let's say I say select star from test. What we have stored here? Test 23. Okay, so we got this value here. And we are saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here we have provided only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have to make it here 0, 0, 8. Now if I execute this, I'm not getting it here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm sorry for that. This 2 number is always work only on numbers, not on any other things. So here, what you have to do, you have to use a 2 char. We are using it here 2char and we get the result. You can see we got it as a numbers in this particular format. Very simple. So for character, we got it as a number as well. Simple here. So same way, we can have a to date. We have already discussed about the to date, 2char and to number. So to number is a special function which works on numbers. To number function convert a character value into numeric data type. So let's see why we are not getting converted here. Okay, let's say select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from okay, so now this is a number and this is a character. Okay, so the mistake what we have done is we provided this as a some format which is applicable only for the characters because we have a special characters here, comma and decimal. So instead of this, if I say to number, and I use only the test data. Now this amount is a number, not a character. Very simple. So simply you can say that this 2char is used for converting into the character. To date is for converting into the date, and to number is converting into the numbers. One thing to be kept in mind that to number will convert only if the character available is a numeric character. If it is not a numeric character, it will not convert into a numbers. You cannot convert a to the number, but you can convert one as a character to one as a number. Simple here. So 2char, to date, to number. These three functions are mostly used for typecasting the columns. What do you mean by typecasting? Changing from one form to another form. Clear? So we have talked about the two functions in this lecture. One is a date function. Second is a conversion functions. Okay, so simply conversion function help you to convert from one data type to another data type. And date function help you to work on date data type. Very simple here. Just for your practice purpose, you can try one thing. You know all the date functions. So just take your date of birth and try to find your exact age with the help of date functions. Exact age means what? Exact number of years, exact number of months, and exact number of days. Very simple. Okay. So with this, we'll stop it here and we'll talk about another things in the next lecture.